let's talk about 5'4" because the brand, the culture around it.
Wait. Before you get there, can you just give us a little background on this gentleman? Because I'm telling you, his style, his flavor right now is like, yo,
I know
I'm
we're
trying to
getting
get
this.
there. You know what
I
I'm
know
saying?
we're
Help
getting
me
this.
out.
You know, when he walked in the studio today, I'm like, hey, dude, I'm wearing all 5'4" today, even down to my socks, right? I'm like, can I pick that up? Can I like go online and do that? He's like, yeah, the jeans, but the top half is like, no, this is exclusive.
It's exclusive. I'm
like, okay,
You don't want to share.
You
huh?
own the
Kimono
place.
comes
so-
out in the fall.
See, that's part of his marketing right there.
I see.
Yeah. You got to be 3 seasons ahead and make
Yeah.
us want it, you know?
Right.
But yo, Journey, just give us some background, because I mean, his flavor is dope. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Yeah,
well,
I like that.
Well,
Help me out.
of course, it's fashion, it's
I know it
culture, it's a movement. Like when I got involved, I'm a subscriber to 5'4" since the beginning. Got involved from my man J Dub, big up J Dub. He brought me in. We met. You guys had a party at El Scorpion. Remember that place?
Oh my
on
God,
Hollywood
yeah.
Boulevard.
I think we threw that party in 06.
Yeah. I was
It
like,
was a Christmas party, 06. And then we walked over to Element.
yes, and I was DJing there.
And we got blackout.
Blurred lines.
Blurred.
Yeah, man. But I was there that night and I was DJing and the sounds were good, the vibes were good, and the people were good. And I just remember these guys walking in and everybody was fly. I'm like, man, I want to hang out with those guys.
Is that where you guys met?
That's where we met. I met
Yeah.
J Dub there and he introduced me to 5'4" brand. And that's when you guys had to, we'll talk about that. But
All right.
Andreas is fashion. He's the expression of fashion. So let's get right into it, guys. The starting of 5'4". Like, when'd you guys start? When'd you get the concept for 5'4"?
So we started in 2002. I guess my journey in life led me into fashion. So I grew up in LA.
Yeah.
Went to private school growing up. I had to wear a uniform. Specifically in high school, I had to wear a collar shirt and chino pants. So I would always make sure that my collared shirt and my chino pants was always the freshest. Because I always felt that if I dressed well, that it would inspire me to want to succeed more. Just because it made me feel better, you know? So I always had that thing, and, me and a couple of my friends in high school would always compete on Mondays after the weekend, like, what did you buy this weekend?
Yeah.
So, we'd be wearing like Polo, Tommy, Nautica, and all that. And I think subconsciously I'd always just been obsessed about clothing. And I remember, like, for me, the most desired item I've ever wanted in clothing was when I was, I think, 11. It was December 1991, if I'm not mistaken, when Shaq, rookie year, had the Reebok pumps.
Yeah.
I literally begged, cried to my mom to please get those for me.
Did you think you can jump higher if you like pump?
Yeah, I literally.
I thought so.
I sucked at sports, so for me, I'm like, any help I can get, the better.
Yeah, he was misinformed because that was Shaq. There's no jumping.
And yeah, exactly.
I know, right?
And everything from getting hand-me-downs from my uncle, like his old polo shirts, or just going on the weekends buying clothes, and every single job I ever had in high school and college, I would spend all my money on clothes. I think subconsciously I was always just really into it, and I always like paid attention and felt that style was a form of self-expression. And I really always, even to this day, like just go kind of feel like I need to go a little bit above just to make sure that, it fulfills me. Because I think if it fulfills me, then it makes me feel better and whatnot. So, going into 2001, I was a senior in college, and I needed...
What school did you...
I went to USC, Trojan.
Fight on.
Yeah. And
Yes.
I was going into my senior year. I was in the Marshall program, which is the business school there. I was specifically in the entrepreneur program, and you needed to write a feasibility your first semester and a business plan your second. So I had just come back from New York before I started my first semester in senior year, and I'd gone into a new store in America called H&M. And it was this big store from Europe that just came, first store in the U.S. on Fifth Ave, and I walked in there saying, like, oh, my God, I can get cool stuff
Yeah.
for really accessible price points.
Yeah.
So I went in there, spent like $700. I didn't have it at the time. I still put it on my credit card. And, I wore the stuff. I was like, oh shit, I can get now wear like the cool looks I've wanted at pretty accessible price points.
Yeah.
And that inspired me to write a feasibility on this retail concept that my partner and I came up with, who's my partner to this day, it's still D. Murthy. We came up with a concept called Styles Beyond. It was basically like our own version of H&M. We didn't know what we were doing, anything, right?
So, wow.
But I started doing my research, and it was actually my only class in all of college that I went to every single session. And it was my only college A, because I never bought books. I actually used my financial aid money to buy clothes from the bookstore, because they had like a clothing section in the bookstore.
I'm not sure if you should tell that.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
15
sure you
years.
paid off his student loan.
Yeah, I actually still have like one loan left that I pay. It's on auto pay, like $30 a month, whatever.
Right.
Anyways, so throughout the course of the semester, I became pretty fascinated with clothing.
Mm-hmm.
And up to that point, I thought I would go into entertainment of some sort, like film or music or whatever. And then I was like, yo, my entire life I've been obsessed with clothes.
Yeah.
Now I learned about the business. I want to go into this. So it was around like December 01, D and I were sitting in our dorm rooms, and we said like, yo, let's start a clothing brand called 5-4. It was just very random. It just happened on a Saturday night. I'll never forget to
Were
this
you guys
day.
high then, or
No, we didn't even smoke weed. No,
But how did you come up with 5-4? I mean,
because
what was
5
that?
minus 4 equals 1 love. So it was a slang term that
Oh,
we've been
okay,
saying.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
so
There we go.
we've been saying it amongst our peers, and our peers were saying it just in form of expression. Like, all right, Journey 5-4, bye, whatever.
Yeah.
And it just caught on amongst our group, and it started spreading around the USC campus. And we were like, yo, we can make this stupid slang term popular. We should just slap it on clothes, right?
Yeah.
What did we know, right? So then we said, yo, we're going to create one of the biggest men's brands in the world to help men dress better. What that meant at the time, we did not know.
And you guys were designing clothes at that time, or just
No.
kind of like taking the name?
So
and
then
putting
what I
it-
did, it was a Saturday night. I went in the yellow pages, which I don't know if the audience knows what the yellow
Oh,
pages
yeah.
are.
Well, we do.
It's like
We
the
do.
first-
We do.
We don't know about the audience,
Yeah,
right?
The
that doesn't
millennials may not
exist
know, right?
anymore.
I know they're on an app. They're like, what
yeah,
is
the
this?
yellow pages. So anyways, look for the biggest ad that said screen printing, left a voicemail, called the guy, spoke to the guy finally on Monday, told him we need to make sure, told him we were going to be as bigger than Ralph Lauren, blah, blah, blah. He needs to give us a good
Hype.
deal. Whatever. Went, screen printed these things, sold them to our friends at our friend's birthday party, just amongst ourselves. Came back second semester, needed to write a business plan, decided to write a plan now on 5-4. During the course of the second semester, we actually went from just this concept to getting into like 5 stores, including Fred Siegel, through a launch party.
Wow.
At the time, I was a club promoter, and I had like Run DMC there, like
Okay, that doesn't happen
Molly,
to normal people.
one of the Molly Crew guys. I had 2,000 people show up at the Knitting Factory,
Wow.
which is now gone. It's not a
Right, right.
Muji store, right? But it was pretty packed, crazy. The excitement was there. Got into 5 stores throughout that time. Got 10 press hits. Graduated from college 2 months later in May of 2002, which is 15 years ago. Shit. And then that graduation day, my mom told me like, "What are you gonna do? You can't afford to like just do nothing and just do 5-4." I laughed at her. I said, "Mom, I'm gonna be rich one day off of 5-4," and she just laughed. She's like, "Okay, well, you're going to be eating cup of noodles for a long time." So anyway, so we maxed out 7 credit cards and went to a trade show called Magic, which is still a show to this day.
Yes.
But back
Las
then it
Vegas.
was like kind of like the Super Bowl of clothing shows.
Yes.
And went to that, got a booth, failed.
What year
Got-
was that?
2002.
2002.
And,
Wow.
and
Yeah, it was
Magic
August
is here in
of 2.
LA.
No, it's-
No,
Magic was in Vegas.
before.
Oh, in
It's still in
Vegas.
Vegas, yeah.
Yeah.
And, pretty bad show. We just kind of ate shit. But I think throughout the course of the next 2 years, just the perseverance just kept us very motivated.
Yeah.
And then, throughout that time, we were able to get an angel investor and, continued to kind of like chug along. Finally, end of 04, got a real investor on board. Then at that time, we were able to actually invest into a real collection.
Yeah.
And we're able to go from just me and him. By the end of that year of 2005, we were like 6 to 8 employees, and we're now in like 200 stores, and actually created a collection and learned firsthand how to make a collection. Like I went to China like 4 times that year, sat in factories, learn how to make everything from the beginning all the way to the end.
Yeah.
And, we went to stores, went to malls, talked to customers and all that stuff. And
so now, well, you guys, you were into T-shirts first, and then
T-shirts, sweatshirts at first, and then in
Sweatshirts.
05 launched with jeans. And then what kind of put us on the map was actually the 5-4 jeans. And when we were about to ship those, we had wholesaled them for like $32, and we put a retail price tag of $68. Our investor at the time was like, dude, no one wears jeans under $100. You need to put a 3-digit price tag on it. So we changed the price tags to 110 and 125. Sold out in like 2-3 days everywhere that we sold them to. And what we had done actually, because I had gone to Europe the year before, and I noticed that a lot of dudes are wearing slimmer jeans, and particularly that the leg opening was a lot smaller, so the sneaker looked a lot bigger and cooler.
Yeah.
And obviously sneakers are always a thing, but back then I felt it was even bigger than what it is now, because I think it was more rare, so people became more obsessed.
Absolutely.
As opposed to now it's so accessible, right? Where I felt that, guys would want to show off their sneakers. So I purposely made our leg opening a little bit slimmer. And at the time, boot cut was the most popular cut.
Yeah.
And relaxed. And we pretty much only shipped straight legs. And our straight leg was just a tad bit slimmer on the bottom. And it
It's
was
like the founders of the skinny jean.
Very much. The leg opening was still like no, the leg opening was still 15 and a half, which now is like ginormous.
That's huge, though.
Huge. But back then it was like crazy because everything was like 17 to 19 inches. And but at first the retailer reacted weird, whatever, but we just told him, yo, just sell it. And then the customers loved it because of the sneaker thing. So, throughout the years, then we started to progress. And obviously, from 05 to 08, then launched a full collection, got into, at that point, like 1,000 stores and Macy's and Nordstrom.
Wow.
Yeah.
Atrium, Fritz Siegel, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
Wow.
Love it.
So when did you guys, you went from the dorm rooms, graduation. When did you guys move into Downtown Warehouse? Because that's when I kind of got in.
Downtown Warehouse was 05.
Okay.
And then we were in downtown from 05 to 2011. And what happened in 2008 specifically was like our peak year. I think we had done like $8-9 million in sales.
Yeah.
And had like 25 employees, was almost close to 1,000 stores that we had sold to. And the recession hit. And we were kind of left for dead because our look was like pretty classic.
Yeah.
And the classic look was dominated in the retail space by your Ralph Lauren's, Tommy's, Perry Ellis's, whatever. At least in like a big sense,
Right.
When you walk into Macy's and these guys have like big square footage and all that stuff. So we couldn't necessarily dethrone them, and they weren't going to make room for a new brand. So over the course of the next year, we pretty much got, fucked across the board, just on payments and all that kind of stuff from multiple accounts and cancellations. And we were like left for dead. And inventory and clothing traditionally is the biggest killer, just because all your cash flow is tied in inventory, right?
Absolutely.
So we were, from end of 08 to middle of 09, we were like scrambling. What do we do? In 2009, did two big things. One, we started a separate brand called Young and Reckless, which we partnered up with Drama from the Fantasy Factory.
Okay.
And we were like the backbone of the business, and Drama was the front end, like the creative and the marketing.
Okay.
Simultaneously, we diversified with 5-4 and launched three stores in like within 6 months.
I remember that.
And we had gone to the Westfield group, and we had told them, we want to open up stores, whatever. We want to go direct to consumer. And they gave us like favorable leases, gave us even money to open up stores and whatnot.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And, so for us,
What
it was
was the
free,
first store?
Yeah.
Culver City.
Culver City?
Culver.
Then Century City, and then Santa Anita. Anyways, learned three things pretty quickly. One, there's no guys in the mall, so we're like, fuck, what can we do? Secondly, they only
Back
came.
then there was. Back then there was. Back then there was.
Back then there was none. Now it's like zero.
Right.
But then secondly, that when they only really came to the store when stuff was on sale.
Yeah.
And then when they came into the store, they didn't know what they wanted.
Yeah.
At least the majority of guys, right? So, throughout those 2 years from 2009 to 2011, you started seeing this kind of like burgeoning of, things in the subscription space and for girls. And I was looking at what is like the next frontier of 5-4, because 5-4 at this point had done wholesale, had done retail. We had an e-commerce store. Nothing was that successful.
Right.
And it wasn't necessarily that the brand wasn't good. It was just that the distribution and the method in what we sold there was just too much friction.
Right.
So
and the markets was changing.
Markets was changing
yeah.
pretty rapidly, and sitting in the stores and just kind of like talking to customers, and I'm kind of the like extreme opposite of our customers. I actually am obsessed with shopping.
Yeah.
But I realize and know that most guys actually are the opposite. They actually hate to shop.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I felt that e-commerce obviously was kind of like one step ahead of the guy going to the mall.
Yeah.
But the friction point was still that the guys have to choose. And that's still hard, especially going on e-commerce stores where like, I want a khaki pant. Dude, there's like 25 khaki pants or like 15 denim shirts or whatever. So, sitting in the store literally just dawned on me one day, like, oh, we need to have some sort of subscription concept where we send guys clothes every month. It's kind of a surprise, and we create clothing that goes to fulfill your wardrobe. So in May of 2012, we launched this concept called the 5-4 Club, and the premise is you pay $60 a month, and we send you a package of clothing, and every month is different.
Genius.
So, for instance, one month would be like a jacket and a T-shirt, the next month a pair of jeans and a Henley, the next month a button-down and a sweatshirt, all for $60 for like a simple understanding for the consumers out there or the listeners out there. It's H&M value, but at J. Crew quality.
It's a pioneer.
Genius idea.
Let's call it what it is right now.
I wish they were around when I was back in high school or something.
All right.
Yeah, right?
Oh, because my style was whack. Still is.
Still Cavaricci's.
What you got all over there?
Don't even pay attention. I ain't asked you all that, okay?
Crisscross over there. Inside out. Wiggity, wiggity, whack. Yo, so the subscription started. Like, I know it was a piece of like what you guys saw in technology, and I know it was a piece that you guys saw that men didn't like to shop for themselves. What else was it that like sparked your ideas? Like, okay, I'm gonna direct to men through mail subscription. Like, how did that?
I mean, to me, I think when thinking about new concepts and all that stuff, it's pretty simple. You put yourself in the mind of the consumer, and figure out where the void is. So like, I think, I lead the creative in 5-4, and like, I would love to say that our product is outstanding, which it is. But there's a lot of comparable product out there in the marketplace, right? Yeah. I think you have to be able to differentiate in some capacity, whether it's product or whether it's distribution. Yeah. In this case, it's distribution. So our method of distribution is so different. It's not traditional e-commerce. It's not going to a clothing store. Whether it's your own store or whether it's a third party, it is a membership club. Yeah. So our premise was so different from everything that existed. And I think our method of distribution is what differentiated us from the 5,000 other brands out there. And the way that we are able to speak to our customer and really know what they wanted. Yeah. I think that is what has made us blossom, really, because, being in the clothing business up to this point, from 2002 to 2012, we had done everything from packing boxes, doing trade shows, selling into stores, having our own stores, everything. And nothing really worked, meaning like, sure, we had done like I said, 9 mil, our top year in that phase. But, it was a very tough 9 mil where it was like a fucking headache. Yeah. And for us, when we launched this thing, literally on the first day, I mean, it was my birthday. It was May 7, 2012. We got 1,200 members. And I was like, shit, this is the best birthday present ever. But more importantly,
Yeah.
we had never seen anything this exciting that we had done in our 10 years prior,
Wow.
all in one shot. And I think that, it goes to really speak that being direct to consumer, whether any kind of business that you do, it's listening and being able to touch your customer instantaneously and get feedback. There's nothing like that.
Right.
And to me, the old guard of clothing was so dysfunctional because you had no feedback. I mean, the reason why retail is dying is because the system is so fucked. It's not that consumers are not spending. They're still spending.
Right.
There's just a massive displacement of how they're spending, where they're spending, and then the people or the places where it's available, aka retail, that whole system's fucked from the top all the way to the bottom.
Right. There's a gap. There's a gap.
Massive gap.
Right.
And for us, when we went into starting 5-4 Club, we were like, you know what? We're just gonna scrap kind of everything that we learned, the bad stuff, take the good stuff, and launch this. And for us, it's like we've never feared failure because I think we failed so many times. It's like, oh, whatever. Like, it doesn't go your way. You'll figure it out either way. Yeah. So we launched this thing, got 1,200 members our first day. We're like, oh shit. Still kept doing wholesale and retail for the next 18 months. Throughout that journey from May 2002 to end 13, the only thing that grew in our business was the 5-4 Club. Our wholesale was like flat. Our retail stores were flat. Nothing was exciting. And, being in business and having multiple things that you do, obviously you get excited by growth and by success.
Absolutely.
And if something isn't necessarily going your way, you start to like, why am I doing it? It's weighing me down. Yeah. So it's crazy because I want to say like end of October or early November of 13, we decided to shut wholesale, shut retail, only focus on the club. Literally came to this like concept in 5 minutes. Wow. And made an announcement to the staff. At the time, we were only like 6-7 people are dedicated full time to 5-4.
Yeah.
No joke, within like a day, went from acquiring, say, like 10 to 20 members a day to like 50 to 100. Nice. And it was just like a focus thing.
Worldwide.
Well, it was like a launch thing, like
mainly
a
in the US.
website. Like, just how did you guys launch this thing?
No, the website had been 54club.com the entire time.
But how's that changed?
It was just more that the focus of the energy, like we didn't have to worry about wholesale anymore. We didn't have to worry through retail. We're winding everything down. So we were just internally focused, like, okay, how do we acquire more members? How do we let more people know about this? Yeah. How do we make our current members more happy? When your mind share is just dedicated to that full time, all day long, and one streamline of business, because at the time you're obviously still small. Right. So you can't be like doing like 5 concepts when nothing's really like hit that big yet, right?
100, yeah.
So like we decided to do that. So I mean, and to this day, or until like probably a year, maybe 10 months ago, all we did was just 5-4 Club. And from the moment of like end of 2013 to now, it's been 3.5 years or so. We grew from like 3,000-4,000 members. Now we have over 100,000 members.
Wow.
So,
great.
we've been on like a pretty high growth trajectory because we were just internally focused, had a really good product, had a very unique method of distribution. And, the 5-4 brand itself resonated with the consumer because we are the manufacturer. So we're able to take feedback, into consideration in designing and planning and all that kind of stuff. And, I think for us, it's been really critical to be able to touch the customer because we're able to take that feedback and really be able to learn how we can make our business better on the front end, on the back end, and simple things like, for instance, when we send you a package, we'll say like, hey, Journey, you just got this pair of jeans and this shirt. This is how you wear it in these 3 ways. And there's a picture of the garment. We give you all the details about the garment so it excites you, right? Because you learn now, like, oh, it has this mother pearl button or it has this specific stitch or seam line. And then you wear this in a classic way. You wear this in a forward way, et cetera, et cetera. So now the consumer, okay, the member in this case, finally knows how to wear this item. And it's
that's
like,
what's up.
I know how to
that's
wear
what
it.
I need.
Thank you.
That's what I need because I still dress like a 15-year-old.
Yes, you do.
Hey, don't talk about him because I'm with you. I got love for you.
I still like just T-shirts and jeans.
I mean,
you know?
T-shirts and jeans.
That's all men because like we really don't know fashion. We spend so much time thinking about money and business and stuff like that. It's like that's why we don't hang out in the malls. But if you can get an email about a piece that you just got in the mail that's really, really cool and how to like fix it up.
Agreed.
It's
Yeah.
like you become this is
That's-
everything that you've done from the beginning.
You
It's
really
like,
do.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
starts
because
with the
now
way
I
that
can
you
do
look.
it on my time.
Right.
I can do it
Yes.
on my time. So when you send that to me, I can go in the closet. Ain't nobody there with me, and I
Right,
go, "Oh,
right, right,
okay."
right.
Yeah.
He
And what's
said-
crazy,
Right,
I mean,
right,
look,
right,
like,
right.
It's
Right.
all good.
like for the audience that knows things like open rates, our open rates on those specific emails are like over 65%. We have average open rate like 2.5 times per person that does open it. There's
Yeah.
even been a person that's opened it 27 times, one specific email.
Open rates he's talking about.
Highly mobile,
Yeah.
obviously.
Right.
Just
So,
so
like-
those people don't know,
Yeah.
open rates he's talking about the people that actually pay attention to your
clicks.
emails
And open emails,
clicks.
yeah.
It's about the clicks.
So
yes.
you're
Yeah.
noticing that these guys are actually taking their phones, going to their closet, and saying, "Oh, I can match this with this white shirt, this blue jean I got with
That's
this
proper.
Yeah.
whatever green jacket, et cetera, et cetera."
See, the
Education.
only thing about that, because you send the email and I'll see this guy with some really, really cool stuff on. I'm like, I don't have those shoes.
Right.
I don't have that shirt. But it makes
Yeah.
you go to the website. And usually when you go to the website, they have sales for that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
you guys
all that we
keep sales
merchandise
going.
for the most part, we create as well.
Yeah.
So all the things that we dress, those types of things, we also make that are either exclusive for the web or they're
Yeah.
also products that are designed for 5-4 Club members. So we
Yes.
have two different collections. We have a collection that's for club and a collection that's for e-commerce where members can go buy more.
Yeah.
And then last July, we launched a footwear brand called New Republic by Mark McNary. We also launched
Dope.
an activewear brand in December called Grand AC. We are launching an eyewear brand in June called I-80, and then we're launching a personal care brand in September called Mercer and Clay. And the idea is that, we see ourselves as brand builders,
Yeah.
and we've always wanted to create an ecosystem of brands that complement the man. And there's guys don't wear the same brand head to toe. Like you're not gonna wear like
Right.
No.
No,
a
no, no.
polo or a Nike
No,
shirt, jean,
No.
jacket, whatever. So we wanted to create individual, unique brands per category that we felt would be that we could create the best product that we could and tell a brand narrative that was unique to that specific category.
Yeah.
So we created this footwear brand, New Republic. We partnered up with a pretty famous footwear designer named Mark McNary, and we launched that in July, and that brand's like exploded
Yeah.
in the last 6 months or so. Our activewear, we noticed that a lot of our members worked out. So
Yeah.
we launched this brand, but we launched it with our perspective. So we wanted to create very fashion forward, high street looks, but in activewear fabric. Because me personally, I've been like a shitty athlete my entire life.
Yeah.
And going to the gym was always intimidating because you'd see like the swolled up dude and you're like, oh shit, I can't even do like a third of what that guy could do.
Right.
But if I can be the best dressed dude, at least it makes me feel better.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's what it's all about. Just feeling
exactly
feeling
look better, feel better. So anyway, so we created that with kind of like that idea. And then our eyewear brand launches in June, and then our personal care brand in the fall. And then we have a few other brands that are going to roll out between the end of 17 and the middle of 18. And it's really about creating an ecosystem of products and brands that speak to the modern man,
Yeah.
and really just being a one-stop shop for guys.
Yeah, when I was first introduced to 5-4 Club, I was thinking, because I saw all those brands, I just took an educated guess. I'm like, wow, these guys are doing something that other brands don't do, which is share their wealth of knowledge. You guys been there from the beginning, selling T-shirts in college dorms to like now, and you've been on the back end of the business. So I'm like, wow. They're allowing other designers to come in. They're putting their business models to it, their branding model, and allowing them to come in to design and do other things like that. Like the Pogie.
Yeah.
Yes. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so
That was
I've
cool.
always been a big fan of like high-end fashion in general. So starting in 2015, we launched a collaboration with Mark McNary, who ended up becoming our partner in the shoe brand. In March of 2016, we did a collaboration with Robert Geller. In February 17, we did something with Poggy from United Arrows in Japan. Basically, what we did is we had them guest design the entire month of 5-4 Club. So you as a member may not know whom they are, but we storytell and we educate you and we excite you that you are going to get a piece from 5-4 and Poggy. And I think when the guy gets the email or gets, the first package, he doesn't know who they are. But when they go Google, they become excited. And you see that those months traditionally are the most excited and the most engaging months, because to the member, it's a pleasant surprise. They find out they're getting clothes from this trendsetter in their field.
It's like
and
a
they're
feature.
like,
It's like a
wow, you're
feature.
bringing this to me. I discovered this. And it also gives them something to talk about with their peers.
Absolutely.
Because now you're actually exciting them about fashion, which I would say like the majority of our customers actually don't probably care about fashion, but they're not that excited about it. We actually give them a reason and a voice to be excited, which you start to change. You can actually start to change the behavior of how your members and your customers are acting towards fashion. And that's when you actually like do shit that like changes the world, because now you actually can change how their out view is.
And they're responding. They're responding to.
So you see their response, you see their enthusiasm. Like guys that may never have posted on social media about fashion, now they're posting about it because you gave them something exciting.
And I like how you guys have got it set up to the casual, the classic, and stuff like that. I mean, that's at least a man should know about themselves. It's like, man, I'm a classic type of dude.
True.
I wear suits and I wear collar shirts, so I'm gonna go with that lane of things. And then you guys cater to that and you send out to that. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And guys like me that started with the brand back in the days, it was like we were wearing T-shirts, the jeans, the big shoes, and everything, but I'm like, I went to New York, graduated, started wearing suits. I'm like, man, now I'm back in California. I don't want to go back to the T-shirts and the jeans. There's a lane for that, and you guys provided that, which was like the coolest ever. You can grow with the brand.
I think that the biggest difference, too, in the last 10 years that's happened is that the ability for consumers, specifically male shoppers, to learn about fashion is so easy, because you just go on your mobile phone and you access like, I'll go on Instagram or whatever, or Google and search like cool Chelsea boots or what to get or what's new and what's trending. And now the power is actually in the consumer. So you have to be able to speak to that audience. And I think when I look and when I study my competitors, I just don't think that the big boys don't know how to talk to their customers. And that's why they're falling down, essentially, because for instance, simple things like advertising in the wrong places, like they still, for instance, take out magazine ads or run massive billboards. I do billboards, but they're very selective. It's just knowing where your customer is the most important part. And with this customer base, which is the millennial man, they're actually the toughest people to find. So you have to go essentially where they're at. So we've done a pretty damn good job of finding them. And, we've done pretty much everything from the Facebook to the TV advertising during live sports to podcasts, to influencers, to blah, 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 blah. But, we take everything from like an analytical perspective where we really see what works, what does not work, and then, hedge and invest where it does work, and then figure out essentially what's working now, and then more importantly, where we think things are going.
Where are you going? What's next?
So what's next is we're launching those two brands that I mentioned. We're going to be launching internationally as well next year. Really just keep growing the club. We're going to be launching potentially 1 to 2 more offerings, because right now we only offer one offering, which is $60 per month. And I think by the end of 2018, we'll probably have an additional 2 to 3 brands under our belt. So the vision is to really be able to go to one site and have an arsenal of brands that the members and non-members would be able to shop.
I'm there.
Yeah.
And essentially, like, more importantly, like, making guys feel confident.
Yes.
You know, giving them a reason to be excited about fashion.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm one of them.
Like that same
man.
feeling I
Yeah.
get when I put on like the weird blue kimono, but it
Yeah.
makes me feel good. I want that feeling for every guy to have.
Yeah, yeah, and every guy they'll see a guy like you dressed to the nine, and then like, man, see, you can get away with that. You get that a
Yeah,
lot. It's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh, you
yeah,
can
yeah.
get away with
Yes.
that. I'm like, nah, dude, you can too, but you just got to go into that world, and you have to be educated. You got to try things. You got to
Well,
be
well,
experimental.
no, it's funny. I took one of our staff members the other day shopping because he wanted to dress for Coachella,
Yeah,
and I got him a bunch of stuff from 5'4". He's like, "Oh, I can't like wear that pink." I'm like, "Dude, just trust me. I'll dress you up." And then whatever we didn't make, I took him to the store to buy.
yeah,
And I got him like, you know, like some colorful shirts and like colored ripped jeans, and it actually looked cool. And for him, it was like, "Oh, dude, I would never have worn this, but like
Exactly.
you
Right.
actually got me
Cool.
out of my comfort zone."
Yeah.
yeah.
Essentially, that's what we do with 5'4".
So basically, what you're saying is that you're gonna take me shopping so that I can.
There
do
you
what I
go.
need to do okay.
Club.com.
I just want to make sure that we understood that. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, we're
Wow.
gonna close this thing out.
This is great, man. This is good information.
What's your superpower? We're at that part. What's your superpower?
That part.
That part.
So I'm pretty OCD, and I think everything that I do, from work to personal, I'm like pretty obsessive with just order and how things flow. And
Yeah.
this weird superpower I have is I know how to. I used to, as a child, I'd stopped doing it because I thought it was very weird. But I used to, when I used to hear people, I used to count the letters and punctuations and count them out and just test myself literally for years. I didn't even tell my mom till I was like 18 years old because I thought she
Wow.
would think I was weird. So
So you're a grammar man.
I just don't know. It was just a fucking weird
That's
thing to
crazy.
like do, but I just did it, and I would sit there and hear you talk, and I'd be like, "Oh, that's 19 letters." Like literally within like a half a second.
I have never heard
Like,
of that.
Yeah.
Genius.
Like I've never heard that. That's 19.
So do you do it when you hear like a rap song? What if you hear like Eminem rapping?
Nah, he's too fast. But that was a weird superpower I had.
Wow.
That's
Oh.
interesting. Well, that's yeah.
So wait.
That's
So
cool.
when you did that, did you correct the grammar as well, or it was
No,
just,
no. I wasn't.
it was just-
I didn't
I
care.
heard
it was
it
just
and that's
more
what it
like
was.
my
that's a whole
ability
nother
to
skill,
count.
huh?
You know what? That takes a lot of listen, man. That
It
means you
does.
were a great listener.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
Wow.
Well, he
That's a
listened.
superpower in itself.
He listens to his consumers.
Yeah.
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 Exactly.
That's why.
Nickname.
Yeah.
$1 billion company.
Nickname. I hear
That's
you.
right. listen to your audience, folks.
That's a great lesson for this conversation.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, Trip Digital Sound Art Expression, like, where could they find you and like what you do personally? Because
Sure.
they need to follow the man.
Absolutely.
First and foremost, go to 54club.com.
5-4.
Check it out.
FIVFOURclub.com. Go to
It's a classy website. I'm gonna say classy website.
grandac.com, and then at Andres Izquieta, ANDRESIZQUIETA. Very complicated.
Okay, you got to say that without that beautiful accent that you got. You know what I'm saying?
Andres Izquieta.
Okay.
Andres Izquieta.
Izquieta. Andres.
Love it.
Trip Digital Sound Art Expression. There it is.
Yeah.
What's up, world? It's your man, DJ Journey. I want to say thanks for watching this video. But first, you got to like this video. And then after liking it, you got to subscribe because we want to keep this coming to you. We get more interesting.